Former Twitter executives are admitting to mistakes in blocking the Hunter Biden story.
Washington, where former Twitter executives were pressed during a combative congressional hearing, and they admitted there were mistakes in blocking a New York Post story about the president's son, Hunter Biden, just before the 2020 election. However, they deny that they were pressured to do so. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge has more for us now. Catherine, good morning.
Good morning, Tony. This was the first major public hearing for the Republican-led House Oversight Committee to focus on President Biden and his family. With new hands on subpoena power, we're likely to see more demands for records soon.
With limited information, Twitter made a mistake.
Former Twitter executives told Congress the social media platform was wrong to suppress the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop ahead of the 2020 election.
In hindsight, Twitter should have reinstated the Post account immediately.
Witnesses testified they wanted to avoid a repeat of the 2016 presidential race.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against
when Russian intelligence was blamed for hacking and sharing emails from then-candidate Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee.
Twitter noticed activity related to the laptop that, at first glance, bore a lot of similarities to the 2016 Russian hack and leak operation. Our judgment was colored by the experience of 2016.
The former Twitter executives included James Baker, who was the FBI's top lawyer under then-Director James Comey. He denied Twitter's decisions were dictated by the Bureau.
Sitting here today, I don't recall speaking to the FBI at all about the Hunter Biden matter.
Or the Biden campaign.
Did anyone from the Biden campaign or the Democratic National Committee direct Twitter to remove or take action against the New York Post story?
No.
Mr. Baker?
For chatters, like, I mean, I've joked around a lot about, like, the Hunter Biden penis and stuff. That part is totally valid. Like, combating revenge porn on the platform is totally valid. It is, however, not valid to stop the dissemination of a New York Post story because they thought that, like, it was, like, hacked material. Especially if the outlet itself redacted it. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's fair. Bulamadın mı? Allah Allah. I don't know where it is. En son gate'i açtım.
Same question to you, please.
Not to my knowledge, no.
After the hearing, Chairman Comer told CBS News his investigators are pivoting to the Biden family's finances. For the first time, the Republican-controlled committee has officially requested records and communications from Hunter Biden, James, the president's brother, and their business manager.
Once you've demonstrated a sincere effort to obtain this information.
Were they right to want to avoid another Comey situation? I don't think it's up to Twitter to judge that, to make that assessment. I don't think it should be up to Twitter to make that assessment. Onun cebinde olabilir, evet. Good job. Especially when it's like fucking, about stopping the dissemination of a news story. Nah, that's fucked up. I know it's a private company, guys. We're not talking about like whether it's constitutionally allowed or not. Jesus Christ. I think it's not adequate. It's not appropriate. It's not moral, okay?
And they refuse to comply, then you can take it to the next step, which would be a subpoena.
And the chairman did not rule out subpoenas as early as April. CBS News reached out to the parties and lawyers for Hunter Biden for comment, and there was no immediate response. Dana.
All right, Kathy.
Yeah, I just don't think it's appropriate to do that.
I just want to start off.
There were really funny moments, though, because, like, the Twitter shit also found out that, like, their content moderation was inherently right-wing and favored right-wing requests all the fucking time. For example, wait, no, Byron Donalds did not ask for the cock photo.
Tweets were actually flagged and taken down at the behest of the Biden team.
I wouldn't agree with the characterization of it as being at the behest of them. These tweets were reported, and Twitter independently evaluated them under its rules.
But the email is very clear. More to review from Biden team. The response 3 hours later at the bottom, hold this up real quick so we can see. The request at the bottom, it says,
bro, that's revenge porn, my dude. What the fuck? Bro, he posted this himself. He literally posted this himself. He said, no, I want to see cock. I want to see cock and balls. These are all revenge porn, dude.
these. What does handled these mean?
My understanding is that these tweets contained non-consensual nude photos of Hunter Biden, and they were removed by the company under...
Hold on, real quick, Mr. Roth. How could you know so much about the content of these tweets? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, these are just web addresses. I don't know what's in these tweets. You have these things committed to memory that you know the content, but you don't know...
What? Wait, he thinks this is an argument?
Who you talk to at the Biden team?
What's he trying to say? He's trying to say you're gay? Lol. Congressman Byron Donalds' answer is, do you know Hunter Biden's cock links by heart? Gay. Lol. The fuck? So he's criticizing him for being well prepared for his hearing? Bro, he literally fucking printed out. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, how is this art? Well done. More of this. He's like, they're mad. They're actually mad. There's not enough Hunter Biden cock and balls.
Right here at the top here, this isn't even my line of questioning, but I'd like to submit to the record a Washington Post article now warning about Hunter Biden laptop disinformation, the guy who leaked it. Here's the deal. Before I even get into my questions, I think that the story here with the Washington Post reporting is that what they're saying right here, when the New York Post first reported in October 2020 that it had obtained contents of a laptop computer allegedly owned by Joe Biden's son Hunter, there was an immediate roadblock faced by other news outlets that hoped to corroborate reporting, as many did. The newspaper wasn't sharing what it obtained. New York Post had this alleged information and was trying to publish it without any corroboration, without any backup information. They were trying to publish it to Twitter. Twitter did not let them, and now they were upset. I believe that political operatives who sought to inject explosive disinformation with the Washington Post.
Psycho Charmant. Thank you for the 100 gifted subs. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. 100 big ones, boys.
Couldn't get away with it. And now they're livid. And they want the ability to do it again. They want the ability to inject this again.
For the record, I don't agree with AOC. Like, I do think that it's explosive material, blah, 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 all this shit. I don't think Twitter should be able to censor that kind of information just because it's like not favorable information. I across the board don't agree with this. This information shouldn't be censored. It's not disinformation. And honestly, no, not really. Like, it's just there's a degree to it. You know what I mean? Wait, hold on. I'm getting messages. Well, actually, I'm getting a message from AOC and also my manager as well. About the misinformation is a driving factor in using manipulation to mass groups of people. No, I don't. No. This is, it's unrelated. The AOC message is completely unrelated to this subject matter. Anyway, news media regularly fucking the news media is going to cover shit sometimes that is not inadequately or adequately verified, okay? That's fine. Like, it's going to happen. That's a standard that they need to hold on to. That's a standard that they need to abide by. I don't think a second party social media platform is supposed to make that, especially it's like if it's a nationally published broadcaster. If it's like a random website that's talking about like Alex Jones style conspiracies, like it makes sense. But if it's the New York Post, then like that actually meets the standard of a newspaper. You might not like it. You might think it's reactionary. You might think like they have a right-wing seasoning on it. And I agree with you on all of that. Okay. But I don't agree that like just because something is right-wing and is certainly, cutting propaganda or whatever means that it should be taken out like that. If they posted the revenge porn, that's different. But they didn't post the revenge porn. No, the New York Post was not posting the revenge porn. They were just posting the Hunter Biden story that wasn't like perfectly verified, but there was truth to what they were covering. And I think that the bigger story always was inevitably going to be and should have been that that dissemination of that information was like stopped by Twitter altogether. For the record, a lot of you are defending Twitter right now when Twitter itself very quickly said, we were wrong to do this and stopped it. Okay? I just want you to understand. And for those of you who say, but using stolen data though, I don't know where Chelsea is, but if Chelsea Manning was in the chat, I'm certain that she would have a thing or two to say about that. That is not a standard that you want ever by Twitter. It is not a standard that you want Twitter to ever apply. Okay? Sorry. That's crazy. New York Post equals Chelsea Manning? No, but the standard that you are talking about is one that I know for a fact Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning would not agree with. It's not a good standard. Okay? That is a bad precedent to allow to continue. If anything, I don't care if it's like right-wing psychopaths pushing for this argument, pushing for this narrative. I don't care who's pushing for it. Ultimately, it's good to make sure that social media platforms are still publishing information, even if it's stolen information. If it's revenge porn, that's fine. I'm not a psycho. Okay? I'm not a crazy person. Revenge porn should not be disseminated. Of course not. You know my standard on this. You know my opinion on this. Okay? But if it's, shit that maybe came from hacked material or whatever, that is a horrible standard. If that was the case, you wouldn't have gotten any of the WikiLeaks stories. You wouldn't have gotten any of the fucking Snowden stories. Like, a lot of that is stolen information. That's crazy. That's material. That is something that the public needs to know about. I don't want the fucking government turning a blind eye to that kind of thing. I don't want the government to turn a blind eye to that sort of thing and allow social media platforms to regulate that, especially when we know that like they'll utilize it in the future. Come on. Don't be silly. In this particular instance, maybe it would be more convincing to people if we understood what the actual story of the content was. It seems like we all think that it was just salacious lewds. Was the story more than that? Business dealings? Oh, that doesn't even matter. If it's anything beyond the salacious nudes, regardless of whether or not they're like, not substantial, should not be stopped. Because the standard that they were utilizing was inappropriate, which is why they apologized for it, by the way. I need you to understand that. So you're defending a platform that recognizes that what they did was wrong. Okay? I don't care. If it's nothing, If it's nothing or if it's something, it doesn't matter. Even if it's nothing, as long as it's not just revenge porn that they're posting, then it is totally, totally valid and totally reasonable for New York Post to publish the story, and it's totally unreasonable for Twitter to ban the publishing of the story. I don't think the hacking in and of itself is a problem, but the nature of the content, specifically using salacious personal photos for the purpose of an October surprise and fomenting of bullshit conspiracy, seems bad, especially if it's in service of fascism. Doesn't matter. I'm 100%. I still don't agree with what they did, and I don't think neither does Twitter, to be fair. Especially because the story was bullshit. It wasn't like actually fucking anything serious. And what should have happened is allow the New York Post to publish the story and then rip it to shreds. And I think most journalists agree with me on this too. You can't blame Twitter for the New York Post ruined their own story. They tried to give it to many news channels and they turned it down because it couldn't be verified. Twitter isn't the one who holds the biggest part in this. They just did what they thought was best. Yeah, and what they thought was best was wrong. And Fox News didn't even cover it because they thought it was fake looking, and that's fine. But New York Post as an institution, no matter how right-wing, no matter how salacious, no matter how fascist it is, still definitely is a cut above the average fucking newspaper or the average psychopathic like blog. You know what I mean? It's not Project Veritas. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you were to ask me, like, do we ban Project Veritas? I'd say yes, but only because they have consistently and maliciously shown that they are willing to misinform. Do you get it? New York Post, on the other hand, is like covering a litany of different news. It's like Fox News. Okay? Fox News has a specific journalism site on top of their commentary. Now, everybody watches Fox News for commentary, but if they didn't have the journalism side, you could make a better argument as to why they should be banned for malicious disinformation campaigns. And I would say the same thing for New York Post. I think it's a tough call because the New York Post, as a journalist, is outlet with some sort of factual basis. Is overall a tough call, but I see what you're saying. This seems like just over the line that they shouldn't have removed it. Yeah, I think that New York Post has at least a standard of journalism, no matter what their opinions are, no matter what their fucking slant is. And we all know what their slant is, right? Like we know they're right wing as fuck. But ultimately, they have beats, they have regular reporting. Like I think that they are held to a different standard as a valid machine of journalism, even if they are ideologically consistent with like fascist propaganda or whatever, and therefore should be allowed to publish the story, no matter how salacious and silly it is. And ultimately, it should have been eviscerated in the marketplace of ideas, I guess. But Project Veritas, on the other hand, for example, regularly does misinformation deliberately. You know that they do misinformation. That's their whole purpose. So I hold them to an entirely different standard that I would hold New York Post to. Anyway, speaking of Project Veritas, turns out they're fucking imploding regardless. They have taken out James O'Keefe. You know? So hacked emails of public officials should be public as long as that person is running for office. Hacked emails of public officials should be public as long as that person is running for office. I think that as long as the personal information is redacted, if someone were to hack information of public officials that pertain to matters that the public should know about, and that information is released, then yeah, I want to see that shit. I'm a fan of WikiLeaks overall. I think I don't like Julian Assange as a person, but I think what he did was valid. And I don't think he should be unjustifiably prosecuted by the government. That is absolutely clear, I hope, for everyone involved here, everyone who is listening to me. The problem with Julian Assange was that I don't think he released any information on the Republican side. Maybe he even had information on the Republican side and refused to release it. Maybe because of his own personal opinions against Hillary Clinton. Some of his anger towards Hillary Clinton is justifiable. I would have liked to see the Republican side of the matters too. I don't give a fuck if the Russian government may or may not have hacked the DNC. Because ultimately, the real issue there, okay, the real issue there isn't the Russian government hacked American servers or whatever, okay? The real issue there is that our broadcasters are colluding with Democratic Party operatives in a fucking heated primary. Like, that's the real issue. Don't get suckered into focusing on how this information was acquired. I know exactly how it was acquired. I don't give a shit. You see what I'm saying? Resmen görmezden geliyorsun ya at da ya söyle saplamayak. Abicim daha ne gösteriyorsun? Gördük biz bunu zaten. Here, we saw this already.
Bak şimdi. Ay. Şimdi hızlanır. Aynen. Şu an tam hızlandı.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway, does that make sense? I think that Twitter taking down Hunter Biden's cock is super valid, and Republicans are psychotic, monstrous freaks for making that a talking point. I'm not debate lording, but if this is your opinion, why were you freaking out when Twitter was functioning with a skeleton crew and the risk of leaks and hacks were raised? You were very concerned about country leaders' DMs leaking. Not just country leaders' DMs, but like people talk to one another on Twitter DMs all the fucking time. There are sources that journalists are talking to that foreign governments would want access to. What the fuck are you talking about? It's everything. And also, when someone is like hacking, when someone hacks information, obviously that's your own. You should have adequate cybersecurity measures in place so that doesn't happen. But when hacked material is out there, okay, as long as it's heavily redacted to ensure that there's no private information involved in it, the media should be able to cover it. Yes. Do you not understand the difference between like literal fucking private information being disseminated with ease as a consequence of like Twitter having no fucking protections whatsoever? Do you not get that? My fear is when a hacking like that happens by some third party or whatever, and they release everything. Now, I think that also there is certainly a standard that is not universal here. Like, so if a video was stolen from your house and tampered with, Twitter should allow its distribution on their platform. Like, that's why I've literally told you, yes, obviously, if it's fucking like Hunter Biden's cock, that's not, allowed. That's insane. You're mistake. You're trying to desperately come up with like a hypothetical scenario. One, I'm not a public official, okay, making deals or whatever that is in the material interest of the public to know, okay? And two, you're just the only thing that I would be worried about if a video was stolen from my house and tampered with or whatever is like me being doxxed or some shit. Do you understand? And a great example of this, for example, is when people use like ring camera footage or footage that they have of crimes taking place. The news media regularly publishes footage where crimes are occurring. Because at that point, it meets the standard of knowledge that the public should know about. Okay? This is turning into like the Ben Shapiro AI bot conundrum. It's like, oh, what if the only way to save the planet from nuclear holocaust is by saying the N-word? But this time you're like trying to find a hypothetical situation where like it basically is something that I would be against. There's always two considerations here: personal privacy, okay, and things that the public should know. It's a delicate and often complicated equation. Do you understand? No one needs to see Hunter Biden's penis, even though it's a very nice one. Okay? But it is valid if this information, whether it was hacked or Hunter Biden foolishly left it with a blind laptop repairman who's like a QAnon freak. I don't know. Doesn't matter. If it made its way to the New York Post and they redacted all of the private information, it's valid to cover it.
So they've dragged a social media platform here in Congress. They're weaponizing the use of this committee so that they can do it again. A whole hearing about a 24-hour hiccup in a right-wing political operation. That is why we are here right now. And it's just...
Hasan, the news is totally cool to pass your news around on your old hard drive. What? What's your thoughts on news companies passing around news to verify? Wait, what? No, I don't think it's cool to pass around your nudes on your old hard drive. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Just don't post it. Why did you just make this up? Do you feel the need to just fucking make shit up? I don't understand. That's not what I said. I don't think that's appropriate. No.
An abuse of public resources, an abuse of public time. We could be talking about...
I don't know how you deal with sensitive material of that sort, especially when it's not coming from like a whistleblower. So bro, why you get mad at chatters? What do you mean, why do I get mad at chatters? Because they put words in my mouth when I'm trying to make a fucking point about like a thing that we're covering right now. And the guy is literally like, well, I like the argument you crafted, but let me actually completely sidestep that argument and make up a new one where it actually benefits my side of the argument. That's why I'm getting mad. What do you mean? The person is like being silly and foolish.
About healthcare, we could be talking about bringing down the cost of prescription drugs. We could be talking about abortion rights, civil rights, voting rights, but instead we're talking about Hunter Biden's half-fake laptop story. I mean, this is an embarrassment, but I'll go into it. Ms. Navarrete, let's talk about something real. I'd like to show you a tweet posted by former President Trump about my colleagues and I on July 14, 2019. It says in part, quote, "Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Then come back and show us how it's done. These places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough. I'm sure that Nancy Pelosi would be very happy as quickly to work out free travel arrangements." A day or two after that, Donald Trump publicly incited, violence at a rally, targeting 4 congresswomen, including myself, saying, "Go back to where you came from." Ms. Navarrete, as I understand it, you were the most senior member of Twitter's content moderation team, or a senior member of Twitter's content moderation team when this was posted. As part of your responsibilities, did you review this tweet?
Yes, it was my team's responsibility to review these tweets.
And what did you conclude?
My team made the recommendation that for the first time, we find Donald Trump in violation of Twitter's policies and use the public interest interstitial.
For the first time?
Yes.
And at the time, Twitter's policy included a specific example when it came to banned abuse against immigrants, as they specifically included the phrase, "Go back to your country," or go back to where you came from, correct?
Yes, that was specifically included in the content moderation guidance as an example.
You brought this up to the Vice President of Trust and Safety, Del Harvey, correct?
Yeah, the funniest part about this story always is going to be that like right-wing guys literally get better treatment because they are regularly in violation of Twitter's terms of service and its own personal moderation, and yet they get away with it. Meanwhile, they're fucking crying that like they're not getting better treatment. It's like, bro, the fact that you are allowed to keep posting the insane shit that you're posting, it means that you're already getting special treatment. But then they cry all the time and are successfully able to change the conversation away, shift the conversation away from that. So I think AOC is doing a great job here by focusing on that contradiction, because it is a real one, and I do think that it's a silly one, because the standard is very different for right-wing people.
She did, yes.
And she overrode your assessment, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And something interesting happened after she overrode your assessment. A day or two later, Twitter seemed to have changed their policies, didn't they?
Yes, that trope, go back to where you came from, was removed from the...
Stop licking her ass. Dude, you are such a fucking revolutionary Marxist, dude. You're so good, dude. Yeah. When AOC makes a point that I disagree with and I criticize her, that's one thing. When AOC makes a point that I agree with, which I do think is a real issue that rarely ever gets noticed by the public in general, you go, oh, dude, you're sucking up to her, dude. You fucking idiot. Just go. Just leave. Just leave for a week. Take a shower. You know, conduct yourself in a better manner. Maybe you will become a little bit smarter eventually.
The content moderation guidance as an example.
So Twitter changed their own policy after the president violated it in order to potentially accommodate his tweet?
Yes.
Thank you. So much for bias against right wing on Twitter. Additionally, Ms. Navaroli, are you familiar with the account Libs of TikTok?
I have heard of it from the news.
This one's
yes.
good. This one's good too. Oh, give it to him.
Mr. Roth, are you familiar with this account?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you aware from August 11th?
By the way, I want to give a quick shout out. To FaZe Clan, who just tweeted about the Turkey-Syria Earthquakes Fund. I just retweeted them. And also on top of that, I believe they donated $10,000 as well. Shout out to the FaZe Clan. We're fucking staying phased up, boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking so goddamn phased up. You know it. You know it, baby. Also, Steve Jablonski, thank you for the 8,000. Fire in chat. Love from Romania. Thank you for the 7,290. We read a lot of these already. Brebo 236. Thank you for the 5,000. Which ones are new? That's it. I'm phasing the fuck up, baby. Let's go. Twitch donated $2K. Yeah, that's old. We already covered that.
To August 16th, that account posted false information about Boston Children's Hospital, claiming that they were providing hysterectomies to children.
Yes, I am aware of that and other claims from the account.
And are you aware that this lie was then circulated by other prominent far-right influencers?
Steve Jablonski wrote score for the Transformer movies? Wait, really? Wait, really? Straight up? This guy, is he a HasanAbi head? Oh, fuck, he follows me. I guess he is a HasanAbi head. Let's go. Chat's not... Listen, bro, he's really good friends with Ethan and Hila. Oh, that makes sense. Chat's not bringing up his dirty laundry when they say he wrote score for the Transformers movies, man. It's me. I'm caught. Nice bathroom. You better fucking stop with this bullshit, okay? What you're doing is fraud, motherfucker. You're the one... It was you who said, "Oh, I was just about to donate too," wasn't it? One of my moderators, as I was donating another 20 grand, literally was like, I think it was nice bathroom. Okay? Literally was like, "Oh shit, I was just about to donate 20 grand too. What the fuck? Well, that's crazy." Anyway.
Yes.
And are you other...
Let's get back to this.
Mr. Roth, are you familiar with this account?
Sorry. Let's get back to this.
Are you familiar with this account? Mr. Roth, 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 are you familiar with this
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you aware that from August 11th to August 16th, that account posted false information about Boston Children's Hospital, claiming that they were providing hysterectomies to children?
Yes, I am aware of that and other claims from the account.
And are you aware that this lie was then circulated by other prominent far-right influencers?
Yes.
And are you aware that all these claims, which I have reiterated were false, culminated in a real-life harassment and ultimately a bomb threat to the Boston Children's Hospital?
Yes, I am aware.
And this account is still on that platform today, isn't it?
Regrettably, yes, it is.
Despite inspiring a bomb threat due to the right-wing incitement of violence against trans Americans.
How'd that happen?
Because they cannot
How'd that happen?
let go of this obsession with fixating violence and inciting violence against trans and LGBT people, in addition to immigrants, in addition to women of color. This is a party that cannot pick on anyone their own size. And they are trying to co-opt an entire social media platform and use the power of this committee and of Congress in order to pursue.
Lamau, baseless bomb threat? Dude, how about I fucking find your house and send you a bomb threat? Do you think that would be considered baseless? Get the fuck out of here. It's literally illegal. Shut the fuck up, bitch. God, it's just like, it's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid when chatters behave this way. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why it's illegal. You know that, right? You dumb bitch. Oh, it doesn't matter though, because, you know, the targets here are children, a children's hospital, and it's like ostensibly or tangentially related to trans issues. So guess what? It's fine to do a bomb threat. Like, what's fucking wrong with you, dude? Think about your goddamn brain. Stop saying delete the VOD. Everyone understands what I'm talking about contextually. You wouldn't appreciate it if someone fucking bomb threatened you, okay? Clearly, it is illegal. It is violence.
Pursue a political agenda. I yield back.
Fresh off his...
That's insane. Yeah, remember when that chatter asked you why you yelled at chat? Exactly. He just said, baseless bomb threat to a children's hospital. Anyway, that is actually a really, really good take from AOC. Shouts out to AOC for that one. It's true. It's valid. It's ridiculous. Important message for AOC. Oh, I can't see because she fucking... God damn it. She blocked me. Defamation. Ugh, these guys are such massive goobers, dude.